Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? It's 11:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Thursday. I'm Andrew. That
I'm
that
Neil.
that's Neil.
That's
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 Neil.
me.
And we are
Yeah.
on Under the Rug. We're the hosts of Under the Rug, the show where we talk about shit that we probably shouldn't, but hey, we give our opinion based on the things that we've researched. We invite everybody to do their own research. Of course, that is very, very valuable. I'm just putting the volume down on that so it doesn't distract me. Obviously, we encourage you to go out and do your own research. We share our opinions here based on the research that we've done. A lot of the things that we do share are verifiable. If we say something that offends you, then you'll get over it because we're all personally responsible and all of that sort of shit. Interesting stuff happening in the US at the moment, Neil.
Uh, there's interesting stuff happening all over. I guess one of the things that I do, and it's probably what makes it so hard for me to have conversation with normal people, because I guess
Normal people, what are
what
they?
I well,
I thought we were normal.
yeah, well, apparently, I sat in a room this morning full of people that I couldn't see all their faces, so clearly to me they weren't normal.
What is in a book? What?
I mean, it's a form of diaper or something people started wearing on their faces. You know,
Face
like,
diapers. Face diapers.
yeah.
You know what? That's actually quite fitting because there's a lot of people that talk a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, but even they don't stop the shit that comes out of there. That's crazy.
Well, no, it doesn't stop carbon dioxide poisoning, does it?
So just so everybody knows what we're talking about, I'm coming live from Auckland, New Zealand today, and I had to come up here and have an appointment with. I need to get a hip replacement, so I've come up to visit the surgeon. He's already done one, and the other one needs doing. And so I came in. I'll tell you what, I was really apprehensive because I haven't been jabbed. I've never worn a mask, and I just really stressed to the max having to go into the cauldron, down into
The
the,
cauldron.
with everything that I've read is that like the hospitals have made so much money um, doing this, and people going, that died suddenly and all that sort of stuff. So it's like I was really kind of like just don't want to be a part of that. And
The
so
statistics on that are alarming, aren't they? There's been over 20 million excess deaths in the world and directly attributable to what you've just spoken about, and over 20 billion adverse reactions. I mean, the evidence is pretty fucking staggering now. I mean, anyone that's trying to say that it's still safe and effective, well, they're really not your fucking friends.
yeah, well, but it's even though people are wrong, they don't want to admit it, and they'll go with continuing to be right until it affects them personally,
Yeah.
really close by family or themselves personally. And there's a few of those that wait to personally and end up in a box. It's
Yeah,
like, whoops.
sadly, you're right.
Um, but on that though, that's part of what they contracted to come here for, and it's part of the awakening. And unfortunately, um,
Yeah, I guess when you look at it like that from a spiritual standpoint, it's the role they signed up to play, so to speak. Is
yeah,
that they might not remember making that decision, but at some
yeah,
point in time when they were still in the land of souls, where of course the language isn't spoken, it's felt. They went, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to sacrifice myself for the good of humanity to
yeah,
wake people up. So
yeah.
it's not a bad frame to put on it.
Mm.
Not
But
easy for those that are still in the 3D plane and don't understand that and are seeing loved ones pop off.
mm. Yeah, that's sad. But there's still those that have it. There seem to be they're just slightly different. Their way of thinking and stuff is all changed. But back to me and sitting in this room this morning, and I had to get an X-ray first, and the two people in there were absolutely. I felt well. First of all, I had to sign in, and there was a mask there, and I'm like, I didn't have one, and there was a box full of masks, and everybody else was wearing a mask, and he said, "Do you need a mask?" I said, "No, I'm good." And he said, "Well, no, do you want a mask?" He said, "No, it's good." He said, "No, that's fine." I'm like, "Wow!" So all of a sudden, I just started feeling comfortable.
Yep.
They came and took me into the X-ray room. They needed to get an X-ray on how it was. So my other hip, they actually took me in there for my other hip, and I had this picture of what it was going to look like. And when I saw it on the X-ray, I'm like, wow, it actually looks. He's done a good job on that. I had him. I had him.
Would you think
Well,
it was his first day?
well, no, it wasn't that. It's like I'd spoken to somebody else that had a hip replacement, and he told me that he saw an X-ray. He could see all the bone that had grown around this thing, and it kind of I conjured up a picture in my brain. And so when I saw it, I'm like, it just looks like he's chopped the top off and he's put that in, and there's no overgrowth of bone going around it. It looked good. I'm like, oh, okay. I got a different picture in my brain now than what had been created from what somebody else has said. But
Interesting. We could follow
but
that rabbit.
yeah, we could. But I guess what I was getting to is that the people there that were providing the service for that were absolutely awesome. I just felt so comfortable, which gave me a lot of hope about the people within the platform or within that industry that they have to wear a mask, but they're good people and there for the right intentions. So I got a lot of warmth from that today.
Yeah,
But
nice.
I think so. Once, of course, I got on the list, it's going to be at least 12 months before I even get a look in. But they got to take my height. Yeah, they got to take my height. Got to take my weight. And I actually got a surprise in my weight. I'm not as heavy as I thought I was, which is quite pleasing. But then they take my blood pressure. So, pump it all up. Oh, Mr. Morrison.
You've got high blood pressure.
Yeah. I'm like, really? I'm like, it was 150 something over. I don't know. Because to me, I said, well, I don't even know what it's really meant to be. And she says, oh, well, you need to get to your doctor. This isn't good, Mr. Morrison. You need to go to your doctor and sort of get it done and sort of start to, put the narrative and getting me onto blood pressure, blood thinning pills. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay. I said, let's just sit here for 5 minutes. Let's see if I can,
Bring it
let's
down.
do it again. And if I just, through here, just let's see if we can bring it down a little
there.
more.
through here too. And
Yeah,
here.
whole core. And so I went to sat 5 minutes, and then we went through and did it again. And it came down considerably from where it was the first time. It wasn't perfect, but it's like I was really apprehensive at going into that place from the beginning.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that exact thing. Yep.
And so the fact that I could, I wasn't prepared for the blood test, so I didn't have a chance to start working on it. But sitting there for 5 minutes and just thinking better, but I was still surrounded by this mask thing, which is just irritated me. It gets my blood pressure up clearly.
Well, it's as you know, I'm doing a certification in breathwork at the moment, transformational breathwork, and one of the things that's come up, and it's interesting because by doing the right breathing technique, you can bring your blood pressure down in the space of minutes. All right.
Yeah.
And what it has highlighted to me is that we, as a species, don't breathe correctly. It's an autonomous function, yes, of the body, but most of us don't breathe in the right way. And that's exasperated even further by putting face diapers on, because now you're not only not breathing properly, you're now breathing the shit that you're breathing out. So, although more CO2 in your body is not necessarily a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but there's always 95 to 99% oxygen in your blood supply anyway. So when you hold your breath, there's just an interesting side note. When you hold your breath and you gasp for air, it's not because you don't have oxygen in your body. You've got plenty of oxygen in your body. It's because you haven't got a high enough tolerance to CO2. So it's just something interesting. But we don't breathe properly. Most people breathe really, really shallow.
Yeah.
And they breathe, we should be breathing around 6 breaths per minute. That's about what we should be doing. Most people are breathing sort of 10 to 15 breaths a minute, and they're breathing real shallow in their chest and not from their gut. Really, really eye-opening, actually.
Yeah. I tell you what, Andrew, I did that breathwork session, and I tell you what, and I think we've already spoken about it, but boy, it just blew my mind, from, I've never been one to be able to meditate, but that there left me, I was going to say traumatized. That wasn't it. Emotional. I think emotional is the right word.
I can definitely be emotional. Hey, actually, on that note, here's going to be a little bit of a plug for those watching. during my certification, I have to do a minimum of 15 guided breathwork journeys that last anywhere from half an hour to an hour. So if there's anyone out there that would like to participate in that, it'll be one-on-one, so you don't have to worry about anyone else or anything like that. Then DM me. It's some way, either through Facebook or whatever, or email me, andrew@andrewhawks.com, so we can jack it up, because I'm happy to give you a session and for nothing to help me go through that to get the certification. So if you're interested in that. On a slightly different note, awesome, Andrew. Absolutely. Just message me, man. On another note, if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe and share this with others. We've got 8 people on here at the moment, which is awesome. We'd love to have more people on here, obviously, each and every week. We want to grow the show. And we should probably think about kicking into the content. But there was something we were talking about right before we come on. And I thought, man, that'd be a perfect way to segue into the show. What were we talking about? Can you remember?
It was something Crypto Brownie said, wasn't it? Was it along the lines of what he was talking about?
Why aren't the Russian banks collapsing?
Yeah.
That brings us into perfectly to our show today, though. Actually, let's start the show with this, since I've already got the image up and so people can see it. Let me get a bigger version of it. Oh, that's not the right one. Sorry. If you wanted to see me bigger, hey. So what we're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, is the G7 countries: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, US, and then versus the BRICS countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The top line is the G7, and the bottom line is the BRICS. And as you can see, the BRICS has now overtaken the G7 countries for the GDP. So that means they're wealthier, they've got more money to spend, they've got more turnover. So those sanctions that the US said that they should put on Russia 12 months ago, 18 months ago, did absolutely fucking nothing.
Zero.
Did duck eggs. Nothing.
Oh,
sorry.
They're increasing. But go back and pull that bloody chart up again, Andrew.
That one.
When you,
this one.
Yes. So you look at that, and it's like, interesting enough, like those two lines to me,
they're
look
perfectly
like
inverse.
Yeah, but it's like an X.
Ooh.
You know?
Like X marks the spot, like XRP or XLM or XDC.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Excellent. We don't call them eggs in our house. We call them negs. Neggs. Negs. You going to have a neg? Sorry, I digress.
Very good.
So check out these lines, though. It comes down, but then look at this one. It's perfectly inverse to it.
Yeah, it is.
That's really interesting to look at. You can see that BRICS is starting to gain strength around 2010. They really started going up. Well, it's not really what I'd call exponential, but it's not linear either. Then they sort of flattened off, and now it's like, see you later, boys.
Yeah. That is so exciting, you know, when you look at the populace of those two groups. BRICS. I mean, that's
There's your Kiwi accent coming out.
That's only those 5 nations, but I mean, everybody's queuing up to get in there. There's so many international contracts and everything being signed on oil and stuff like that. People don't want to use. Well, I mean, the whole G7 is based on, you know, the transaction is all based on US dollars. So here you've got BRICS, and the countries want to transact with their own currencies. Certainly the yuan and the ruble and for all goods and services, like so
interesting. So what? And I'm being a bit of a dick. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here.
No way.
I know. What protocol, what ledger in the blockchain allows people to pay in their own currency and the receiving country receive in their own currency? What can you remember? What blockchain does that?
So you're looking at like XRPL, or you're looking at Ripple, or you know?
No, you said it, XRP.
Yeah,
XRP for the win.
Oh well, you know, XLM does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, that's going to be for the people, which I love.
Yeah.
Hey, in other news, this came out just I was made aware of this today. I think it came out. Yep, did come out today, 30th of March. Major Australian bank quietly stops handling cash at some branches. So in Victoria at ANZ, I'll put this link in the chat for anyone to go and do your own research and have a bit of a look. But ANZ, so branches, cash deposits, cash withdrawals continued possible through a smart ATM, so they'll know exactly what's going on there, and coin machines, but there'll be no cash held over at the teller. So they're trying to move us away from that cash society.
I think
Will Robinson.
There's a big narrative towards the CBDCs, and I think and they're creating a lot of fear around it, or there's been a lot of fear created around the CBDCs. I don't fear them one bit, with everything that's coming and the 40,000 sort of view looking down on everything that's going on, 40,000 foot or mile, probably 40,000 mile view looking down on everything. I'm comfortable with CBDCs, and we'll see how that pans out. But I'm not fearing it one bit. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not fearful of it either. I think you probably said it perfectly. There's two sides to that narrative. I mean, yes, the way they were originally designed was exactly that. It was going to be full control. Now, look, I guess there's still a chance that may happen in that way, but I think the odds are that it's not going to happen in that way. I mean, it's like being killed in the middle of the night by a bloodthirsty chicken. It's not likely, but it's not impossible either, is it?
You just reminded me of that photo that Anthony Levia posted of how to get people back into farming. Did you see that on his Facebook?
No, I missed
that.
You'll have to find it.
It's probably not appropriate for the show.
Why not?
Well, it could be the male. So there's two genders in our show, male and female, right? So just nothing else comes into the show.
What do you mean? I thought there was like 400.
Oh, that was something I had to fill out on the form this morning at the hospital. Are you a male, a female, or other? I'm like, really?
I'm a hermaphrodite. No, there was. I actually saw a video yesterday. They had to fill out an online form, and it was like that, and it was gender, male, female. It was male, female at the top, and then there was about literally 50 different choices underneath, and you're like, are you fucking serious? When you get dug up in 100 years' time, they're going to go, that was a male. I don't know what color he was, but he was a male. Oh, that was a female. Oh, she broke her leg. They're not going to go, oh yeah, that one was non-binary, fucking upside down XZY. Fuck off. There's male and female. Sorry.
Even those great big giant skeletons they pull up, they're either a male or a female.
Andrew Daniels saying some podcasters, what I'm going to put this on so everybody can see it. It's quite funny. Penis owners and Volvo owners. Volvo, aren't they made in Sweden or Scandinavia somewhere? They're the safest car in the world.
Yeah, but they lied about their exhaust emissions. They got
no, that was Volkswagen.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Now,
well, they're probably all in cahoots anyway.
That short dude with the mo might have lost the Second World War, but he didn't really because he fucked everyone else up with those women V-dubs. Sorry. It's an old joke. Hey, now for those who haven't seen this is worth having a listen to.
Oh, I got this.
For the people who work numbers, I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks.
That is so exciting. I also heard that the president or the premier or whatever of Venezuela has come out and said the same thing or a similar thing. But if you look at that guy was it the president of Kenya, right? That's somebody that everybody would take really seriously, wouldn't they? and yet, did you hear when he announced that? There
They
was
all laughed.
laughter in the back. Like, really? It's like, so they're already in it. What's going on there? You know?
Yeah, they know what's going on. They know what's up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like they knew what was up too. And it wasn't Kenya. I think it was Nigeria, and there was another African nation near the start of 2020 or during 2020. They knew what was up. They sent back a woman, that has now been proven fraudulent PCR tests, which we knew back at the time anyway, but now proven. It's now in mainstream, so it's real. Fraudulent PCR tests that were tested positive, and it was a can of Coke and a freaking pineapple or something, or a guava. Yeah. And all of a sudden, then he wound up dead. Oh, that's not fucking suspicious at all, was it?
Yeah, no, it's not good. But it's all part of the awakening. You got to wake these idiots up. So, and we're getting closer. We talked about waking people up, right? And nothing else that they've thrown at us or them, sorry, has woken them up. So we've got to hit them in their pockets, and this is what we're starting to see closer and closer to now. So we're getting to what do you call it? The kill shot, the crunch, the precipice.
I think we're over the precipice. I think kill shot's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, where people are going to it all the narrative seems to be sort of around the US and sort of Europe. That's where the sort of banking systems are collapsing. How that's going to have what flow-on effect, or how long that flow-on effect's going to take to get us here in Australia and New Zealand, maybe a little bit longer, although it could be overnight. It's like,
well, it could be. I mean, it is pretty much the flick of a switch. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's supposed to happen towards the end of this month. We're at the end of this month now, and during the start of next month. I mean, I've heard from a couple of different places that the first week or so of April is really important for Jassara and Asara. That's when it kicks off. And I've also heard from a couple of different other channels here in Australia. Well, they're Australian run. That the RV has kicked off. That tier 1's actually been paid. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, I think we're tier 4, so we got a little ways to wait. But I'll be quite happy if I get an appointment or end of an EBS saying, hey, here's an 800 number you have to come and call, and set an appointment to go in and do some exchanging. That'd be great.
Things are certainly. I've never felt in my being that we've been any closer. This is the closest that we've ever been to that, and we've seen snippets of everything that we've talked about just starting to, a 60% increase within 7 days is pretty exciting. On what we perceive to be the new sort of financial system that all the monetary is going to run on. But coming back to where we started the show, because we've still got heaps of content to go. We're halfway through the show already, just about. Like the flow on, like we have the president of Kenya out there coming and saying, might be good to get rid of your US dollars in the next couple of weeks because things are changing. And so to see the next clip that we have, which is mainstream media starting to, bring out in mainstream news the demise or, the changing in the American dollar system, which is pretty exciting. Do you want to play that one, Andrew?
Is that this one?
Yep.
Vladimir Putin announced this week that Russia will begin using the Chinese yuan for international payments instead of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is also in talks with Beijing to do the same thing. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, they're in talks with Iran as well to consider an economic alliance with China and Russia. And they can even be joining the BRIC countries, which is an acronym for these countries here, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries all have emerging economies. So what happens if our economy and the U.S. dollar are no longer the world's dominant currency? Former Assistant Treasury Secretary and host of the Monica Crowley podcast, Monica Crowley, is here to weigh in. Monica, great to see you this morning. Let's start right there. What happens if these emerging economies move away from the U.S. dollar towards the Chinese yuan?
Well, good morning, Will. It's great to be with you. And it's really hard to overstate exactly how catastrophic the abandonment of the U.S. dollar would be as the world's global reserve currency. Look, since the end of World War II, the dollar has been the safe place to go, and it's been backed up by a couple of things. It originally was backed up by gold, but President Nixon took us off the gold standard, so there's no hard asset backing up the dollar anymore for the last 50 years. But also it's been backed up by the strength and economic power of the United States and the fact that oil has always been traded in dollars. If that were to end, that would mean the end of the U.S. dollar. Look, there is a perfect storm happening right now, Will. The world's reserve currency being that, having that status has been a real privilege, but we've abused the privilege by wholly reckless monetary and fiscal policies over many years, certainly over the last couple of years, which has really devalued the dollar. On top of that, now you do have this perfect storm of Biden's weakness, his war on American domestic energy production, the Ukraine war, and as you point out, because of all of these things, we've got America's enemies led by China forming a new economic bloc. And all it would take at this point now, because we're at this pivotal moment, Will, is for Saudi Arabia, who has indicated that they're open to this, to say, you know what, we're going to be open to considering other currencies to trade in oil. If that were to happen, there would be a complete implosion of the global economic system, but certainly the American economic system. And if that were to happen, you'd be looking at sky-high inflation, just raging Weimar Republic kind of inflation. If you think inflation is bad now, just wait. But more importantly, we would lose our economic dominance and we would lose our superpower status.
Monica, the world's reserve currency, you said it's a privilege for the United States for the dollar to have been the world's currency. How does that relate to each individual American? How has that changed or impacted or improved our lives throughout the last several decades?
Yeah, I mean, it's given the United States incredible dominance in the world in terms of the economic system and in terms of trade. It's kept prices down. So whether it's energy prices, whether it's your food prices, the entire global economic system is reliant on the safe and secure dollar. But that is no longer true, again, because we've been printing money like crazy and devalued the power of the dollar and the value of the dollar. But on top of it now, again, oil is the critical linchpin of this. If Saudi Arabia decides to join with America's enemies here and start trading oil in different currencies, that is going to undermine the entire global economic system. And here at home, you know what it's going to mean for us? It's going to mean raging inflation, so much worse than anything we have ever experienced, Will. And I'll tell you, they're setting it up so that they can then come to the rescue by introducing central bank digital currencies. If they were to do that, and the United States already has a pilot program, that means the loss of your individual economic freedom, because the government will have total access and control of everything you buy and sell and the ability to turn it off like that.
Ominous warning. I hear you. Saudi Arabia is the tipping point. Oil trading in dollars is the tipping
You know, you just listen to the words that she's using. The first word that she comes out with is, if that were to happen, that would be catastrophic, right? It's like you listen to the words that they use, and it's just creating fear within the audience that are watching it. You just look at, and they use the words America's enemies. You know, it's like, it's not about America, China, Russia. They use those country terms to create part of the divide. But at the end of the day, this is about good versus bad. This is about people that have enslaved the whole of humanity coming to its end. This is about the end of the SWIFT system, the fiat currency, and the reliance on the petrodollar. And that Saudi Arabia, right from the very beginning, and there's already agreements, I think, that are in place and happening as we speak, that basically gives them the ability to use and trade in other currencies. I think the yuan is what they're talking about. It's like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure that legislation's already been, or regulation, whatever, has been signed over there.
well,
There's been discussion about that.
Yeah, it's so you've kind of got the that whole flow-on effect of to come out and basically be talking in mainstream media over that. It's like that we only get probably less than 10% of what's going on the surface. So what's really going on behind the scenes with all of this is much, much bigger. It already happened.
Already happened. Exactly.
Yeah. So I love it. I mean, it was sort of a great piece to sort of help awaken and people will take that on board, and they'll go and they'll look at it. Oh shit, the cost of blooming petrol's a little bit higher this week. Food's a little bit low, but I'm okay. So I've still got access. Till those things are shut down and they don't have access to that, they won't truly know what's hit them.
And
That's
until
coming.
you don't have access. Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, this is what we're seeing. And this is everything that's going on at the moment with the collapse of the financial system. And look, people go, oh yeah, cool, collapse. We've seen collapses before. It didn't really affect me that much. Maybe it did affect you. 2008 was really the last big one. 2008, 2009 with the subprime mortgage market. But that's what's about to happen is going to make that look like a cakewalk. It's going to make the Great Depression look like a cakewalk. It's going to be difficult. It is going to be some difficult times for a good, 3 to 6 months, maybe longer. For a lot of people, it may well be longer. For those that are awake and aware, maybe not so long. So if you're awake and aware, hey, congratulations to you. But we're about to come out of that whole fraudulent system that we were born into, without our knowledge, without our consent, without our parents' consent. They didn't know what the hell they were doing, and I find it laughable that the New Zealand website in particular, when you go to the website, go to the passport there, or something about your birth, death, and marriages, it may be, and they actually state that there's rumours circulating that your birth certificate is sold as a bond on the market and blah 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 blah. This is completely untrue. I'm like, that's an utter fucking lie. It's not untrue because we're all under that same system. We're all fucking chattels. That's what our birth certificate is. That's all it is.
But we know, everybody that watches our show and is on this journey with us, Andrew, everybody knows, and most of them probably don't watch mainstream media these days anyway, but what they say, you just think the opposite.
Yeah, true story. It's like Biden says, the banks are fine. Well, the banks are fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
look out.
all the top people in financial world going, everything's stable, it's all good. Not.
Yeah, stable as a rocking chair on the top of them, and jumping horse.
But I mean, so people need to watch the next clip, Andrew, so that to get an idea of the commentary and just how fast that this could happen. Oh, sorry,
Which
not
one,
could.
The stock market one?
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number
All right.
4.
I'm just going to bring that back because there's stuff there that you guys might have missed.
On May 6, 2010, the stock market crashed. Market levels plunged to new all-time record losses for a single trading day. You get the live comment.
Right. That's way too much. 40 been bid here now, guys. 40. He's talking about 1,000 Dow points. It's just too much. 13 even bid here now. Once again, I'm at 13 even bid now. 13 odds are trading right now. All right, guys. Sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about that, guys. Once again, on it for you here in a big way. Paper came in. Huge paper sellers coming through here, guys. We got fast market up on the boards here once again. We have seen some big paper sellers coming in. It all started out up above around 38 even here now, guys, talking about 25.
So I just want to jump in here. What we're looking at is this is obviously from 2010, but this is the real-time crash. So these are the figures as they're coming in, and you're hearing the guy on the phone with with sell orders coming in, and you can see what's happening. This is just going.
He's watching the board, and this clip is only a couple of minutes long, and you watch the collapse in such a short space of time. But this is Yeah, just watch the clip. Let's talk about it afterwards. It's almost
handles
like
a solid sell side activity here, guys. They have just P's. The limit down in the S&Ps would be 10.53 even. So we still have a solid 60 handles of range left. Here they come to sell them again. 9 halves trade, 9/20s trade, 9 evens trade here now, guys. 8 halves are trading as well. Once again, guys, they're going to get it in 8 halves trade, 8 even offer. 7 even offer. 6 halves are trading here now. 6 evens are trading. 5 evens are trading here now. Once again, 5 evens do trade here. You're going to get a new 5 even offer comes in. 4 evens are trading here now. 3 evens are trading here now. 3 even here now. You're going to get a low print of 11.03 even. Guys, 2 half offer. 2 evens are trading here now. Once again, I'm offered at 3 even here now. 2 half, but I'm at 3 half. 3 evens per here, guys. All evens are trading. The figure prints are trading. 9 halves are trading here now. Once again, we got figure trade here now. Once again, we are trading 1,100 even. Guys, we are 64 handles lower on the day here now, guys. 9 halves trade. 9 even offer comes in here now, guys. Once again, 9 evens are trading here now, guys. Offered at a figure here, guys. Once again, 9 evens are 10.53. Once again, 8 evens trade, 98 even bid at O even here, guys. Once again, 8 even bid at O even. That's a 98 even bid. 98s are trading here now. 97 halves are trading here now. Once again, 97 evens are trading here, guys. 96 halves trade. 96 evens trade. 94 evens are trading. 94 evens are trading here now, guys. Once again, 4 half offer, 4 even offer, 3 halves do trade. 93 evens are trading, 92 evens are trading here now, guys. 91 evens are trading, 89s are trading, 88 halves are trading, 87 evens are trading, 86 evens are trading, 85 evens are trading here now, guys, all the way down. 84 evens are trading here now, guys. 82 evens are trading. Paper comes in a big seller. 81 evens are trading here now, guys. 79s are trading. You got 79s trading here now. Once again, 78s are trading. 6s are trading. 76 evens are trading here now, guys. 75 evens are trading. 4 evens. 3 evens are trading here. 2 evens are trading. 72 evens just traded. Once again, guys, we are a big time even bid here now, guys. 72 even offer. 68 evens are trading. Guys, 70 even bid here now. Once again, 70 evens trade. 71 even bid here now with the 72 evens are trading. Guys, 70 over here.
Damn.
yeah, that was live, but it's like just that was I think the S&P 500, right? That was just one of the major platforms. There's, I think, at least 5 major platforms like that are about to go through something much worse than that.
Oh yeah, it'll be worse. But gee, whew. And see, the sad part about that is that the system that we've come from, or that we're coming from, and I don't think this will be able to happen this time. I don't think there's going to be the same opportunity this time, because I think it'll go to 0 and that'll be it. There'll be a new system implemented. That's my belief.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, all that bloodbath that was there, if there's a loser, there's also a winner.
Yeah.
So there was people taking advantage of that made a bucket load off the back of that. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie The Big Short, which is about
good
Michael
movie.
Burberry? Anyway, I can't remember his last name, but he predicted the financial crash. If you haven't seen The Big Short, you should go and watch it. It's quite good. But, you know, his company benefited off that, but only because he saw it coming before anyone else. And I kind of liken what we're kind of in that situation right now. There's quite a few of us that can see what's coming, and there's a lot of people that are even in the system, that are in finance, that can't see it. And there was with that as well, that can't see it.
Yeah.
They think they're too big to fail. They're not.
Well, we're only looking at just the fiat system. You know, the fiat trading platform is what we're seeing. You know, and if you look at when stuff starts happening on the crypto space, well, it has been happening. But when it happens like that, and everybody's looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're missing the main coin that they're not looking at the right coin, and the right coin is Tether to be watching, because every cryptocurrency out there is pegged or traded on Tether, and
a lot of it's built on the Ethereum blockchain.
yeah,
ERC20 tokens. Sorry.
I know.
Sorry. Shut up, Andrew.
But this morning, and I was a little concerned at one of the other platforms that I watch, and they were sort of talking about stable coins and Tether, and it's like, it's back 1-to-1 to the USD. But it's like Tether is not 1-to-1. That they're meant to be. I'm not sure what they have in their accounts, but they print money like they print fiat. Well, they produce Tether like they produce fiat currencies.
Yep.
And
when they pull the pin on that, that's going to create a house of cards within Bitcoin particularly, but then the rest of them as well. And then we follow on to the Ethereum, which is where I was heading. Sorry, even to get my blockchains crossed up, into Ethereum. And like Ethereum, literally 90% of the cryptocurrency ecosystem's built on ERC20 token. Let's be honest, but they can't scale. The same Bitcoin can't scale either. Now Ethereum are continuing to say, well, yeah, we can scale, and at this date we're going to be implementing these measures so that we can scale, and we'll be able to do 100,000 transactions per second. No, what's going to happen is all that volume and liquidity is going to come across to the Stellar blockchain, because they've already got that functionality there and they've had it for a long time. All this is we're seeing stalling. Actually, it might have been Andrew Opperman posted something on Facebook today earlier about being the 30th, second last day of the month. And of course, if they're in the Julian calendar, then it's the second last day of the year, right? Because April Fool's Day is New Year's Day. So I said, well, what could that bring? And I think it was Andrew. Somebody said, maybe we'll see the settlement, or we'll see the verdict in the XRP case. Well, from what I know, that happened in October of 21 anyway. What we're seeing now is theatre play out for the last 18 months. And you say, well, how can you say that happened in October? Because I've seen the document. It's been scrubbed from the internet now. It's still there on the Wayback Machine. But I've seen the document that shows that the case was settled. It was done. So all we're seeing is theatre. Let
me bring in a little bit of a different, along those lines in what you're saying. Because we're both involved in a platform that we had as a leadership a say on how the token, and I haven't, and I'm bringing this, I'm shooting from the hip on this. Andrew doesn't know. Andrew kind of knows what I'm talking about a little bit, but it's like so the CRU is what I'm talking about. When we launched that, it was launched and let it go live, and it was held at 20 cents, and that's what it started at, and there was no sales happening on it, but we were in control of that token. And then we had a big meeting, and it's like, no, it's meant to be a free token. It's meant to be open so that we can trade it openly and do whatever we wanted to do. So we had a big meeting on that, decided, and basically it was everybody against one that didn't want to do it. And we did it. And then what happened? As soon as you open it up to the open market and all the bots in that and everything else that goes in there, it crashed. It went down. We lost control into the open market, and it got plundered. But until that point, we had control of that. We had a flip of the switch that controlled that. I think that's what we're seeing on the bigger scale here with the likes of XRP and those whole things. And they're on that though, but in control. And Binance is getting hauled through the coals right now because they've had like 300 trading accounts that have been trading against the friggin' markets, manipulating the whole friggin' thing. Oh my God! It's like if you're looking at, if you're awake to what's coming into the fiat world, it's like the narrative's coming equally for the crypto space, and it's like, wow, it's coming fast. But let's go back and play the next clip, because that's a real true indication, I feel, Andrew, of how the banking system are actually managing, amongst themselves, how to sort of wangle their way out of this.
So we got live footage, or we got Robin Williams?
So it's Robin Williams does a great.
That one? Is that the one you want now?
Yeah.
Okay. What the? Oh, come on. Jeez, you're not helping me here, Neil.
Oh, sorry. Was I pushing the boundaries?
No. You didn't make it a clickable link for me.
Oh, didn't I?
No. You took the HTTPS out. That's all right. I fixed it.
Ah. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Now I can open it. Yes. Let's get some volume on that. We'll go full screen. Sorry about the blurry.
Like a group of junkies who've relapsed, going, listen, man, I just need some liquidity, you know what I'm saying? I just ran into some bad subprime, you know? We just had complex formulas. We just didn't factor in greed and panic, you know? I just need $805 billion by Tuesday. Yeah, no, seriously. No, I would not screw you again. It's pretty crazy.
I've learned my lesson.
No, baby, this is not like the other time. No, seriously, I just throw me a bad here, baby.
Just give me,
help me out.
Just give me a little bit.
Yeah, just a taste. That's all I need is a taste. I need $2.5 trillion. I'll pay you back. Like a group of junkies who've relapsed, going, listen.
So if you didn't get the context, he's talking about the banks. The banks are like a group of junkies that have relapsed. They're like, I just need one more hit, man. He's talking about being bailed out. I saw that earlier in the week. It's bloody funny.
I just, with everything that's going on, we need to be able to keep on the lighter side of it all, and it's all a show, It's to wake up the normies and move into the new world that we're all eagerly awaiting. But yeah, it's just some stuff there. There's a whole bunch of scary stuff going on, but it's like, if it's scary to anybody, then you're watching the wrong movie.
Yeah, it's interesting but frustrating at the same time. It's like, Sam sent me something earlier this morning, and I was just like, actually, no, he sent it to me yesterday, and the only thing I could come up with was a meme from South Park, and went, that's it, I'm out. Now, if you know the episode, is the Lord of the Rings episode where the boys have to get the Lord of the Rings video back. There's a whole story behind that. Great, funny as hell episode, but not appropriate for here. Less appropriate than the video that Neil made me share last week.
You cut it off before the punchline.
I know. Far out. But it's. I guess that's what you do when you're in a corner. You paint it into a corner, and you women know that you beat. You start just throwing wild punches and Hail Marys to try and fucking get anything across the line. And I guess that's what we're starting to see. And I think the same thing with ANZ, because to be honest, if you listen, and we've talked about RJG a few times here. If you look at what he says, the whole quantum system was designed. The quantum financial system that he designed was designed to operate without the need of banks. Yeah. So if that's the case, then and let's face it, what is a bank? What is a bank?
Yeah.
It's a shop for money. That's it. And what's worse, it's not even their fucking money, it's yours. So you're going to that shop to see if they'll give you a better rate. Oh, by the way, we've got news on that too. Give you a better rate on the money, on your money that you're allowing them to bring into existence through your trust that we spoke about before, that was made the time you were born, because it's your money, and then charging you usury. They're charging you interest on the top of that. The whole system is fraudulent. And Henry Ford said it perfectly. If the American people understood how the banking system worked, there would be revolution by morning.
Yeah.
It's true. And I think what we're starting to see is more and more people are waking up to the fact that, hold on, and that's the whole reason, supposedly, why cryptocurrency started, why Bitcoin started. It was the people's money, because they're sick of being shafted by the banks. Well, it turns out that Bitcoin is probably a psyop by the banks to start with, but that's irrelevant. The idea was there and the seed was planted. So there's a lot of people that think about that freedom, that think that will understand and realize that they don't need the bank. They don't need that system to operate, to survive. And that's the other thing, the other side of the CBDCs. So what? If the cabal get their way and they're becoming evil CBDCs, so what?
Well, if you think about, though, CBDCs, and like every country you're hearing every country setting themselves up for CBDCs, right? And if every country at this point is functioning on the US dollar, that's the main global trade. But then if the US dollar goes, when the US dollar actually collapse and we're not going with the petrodollar anymore, then each country is going to be creating their CBDC based on that country's value, what their value is. We're just looking at the Iraqi dinar now getting ready to come back into its real value. And there's many countries that are getting ready to come back into their real value, which is what's in the ground, what the country produces, their goods and services creates the real value of that. So is that what the CBDC will end up being, sort of for each country? Which isn't it's different in a way, but I'm not.
It is. So the way I understood it was explained to me in the last half of last year. It may have even been May last year, is that the CBDCs won't be controlled by a central bank. I mean, that's the way it's looking at the moment. That's the way it's meant to be, supposedly rolling out. That they'll be controlled by the treasury of each country. We might go, well, that's just as fucking bad. Well, yeah, in the current system. In the new system, however, it may not be. But that's not to say that it will be the only currency, because it won't be. You'll be able to trade, literally, you'll be able to trade in commodities. If you've got, you'll be able to spend your commodity, as random as that sounds, you'll be able to spend your commodity to and get the goods and services that you require. Because that's how the XLM and the XRP blockchain are set up. Now, guys, remember, everything we say here is not financial advice. It's just what we're doing and our understanding of it. You do whatever you want. Go out and do your own research, for sure. In fact, the shirt I've got on today is do your own research. That's what it says on the back of it. So go out and do that. But that's the way that is set up. That's the way XRP is set up. That's the way XRP is going to be. That's an interesting one, right? Because that's going to be the institutional money. So that's the banks. Well, when the banks disappear, then what? But XLM, on the other hand, that is essentially going to be the new stock exchange, from what I see, from what I understand. So you'll literally be able to spend it like you've got money, like a bank transfer. You'll be able to say you've got $1 billion in crude oil token. I don't know that there is a crude oil token. I can't remember the exact name of it. Let's say you've got $1 billion in crude oil token, and it's worth $1 each. Cool, you've got $1 billion. Great, but somebody over in Switzerland needs money to buy milk. I don't know why, but anyway, you spend your crude and they can buy milk with the money that they get there. It's really random, but when you understand it, when you look at it and how it all works, you go, oh, okay, I can see that. So there's not going to be the need necessarily for the CBDC anyway.
Do you remember Stella put an advert out? They created an ad, and it was a mother and a daughter in 2 different countries.
That's right.
And they put that out. That was out in the mainstream. I'm not sure mainstream media, but it was out in the mainstream. We should actually find that.
We should find that. That was last year. That was about about September, October. I think that came out. Maybe earlier.
Yeah, and it's like, that's cross-border payments in a flash, just like that, to help mum out on the other side of the world.
Yeah, and not having to worry about the SWIFT system holding up the money because they're using it to trade in the gap.
It was instant, and it was just enough for her to cover her basic needs. What didn't have to be a big amount. I mean, let's face it. Most of the major money that moves around the world is through the corrupt banking system. And so when they talk about CBDCs and they're going to control all of that, and if it is controlled, then all those dishonest organizations in the banking system are not going to be able to be dishonest anymore. Those mechanisms are now gone, and it's going to free up so much more money. Oh, there's something, and I can't remember, you might know more about it, Andrew, but the Nostro accounts, being able to free up those, there's like 27 trillion or something in there, and I think they're potentially coming out through what Nostro accounts is like locked up liquidity throughout the world. And it's locked up in with the SWIFT system. So bringing it through and into the blockchain and through, whether it's the XRP ledger or however it works, is going to create so much liquidity straight off the bat with that.
Absolutely. And if you listen to the likes of Charlie or Charlie Ward or Emily Chan, they saying that they've seen documents, they've seen figures where there's literally hundreds of zeros after the digit.
Yeah.
So like if you think about that, 3 commas is a million, no, is a billion. 4 commas is a trillion. 5 commas is a quadrillion. 6 commas. So if we get into 5 commas, 5
Right.
threes, that's 15 zeros. Right?
Quintillion or something? Is it?
But that's only 15 zeros, and they're talking about hundreds of zeros after the comma, after the digit. So we have no idea, realistically.
No.
I mean, we're just guessing, and we are. But you and I, we were talking about it before we got on here, right, with lobster. There were a few things. They only need to go to a cent, and I'm a happy man forever.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't even need to go to a cent.
Yeah. Like, the sort of talking about the, one being backed by gold and the other one backed by silver. And so it's talking to Andrew, it's like, so would you rather have one XRP or one XLM? And so we know XRP has 800 billion, I think, tokens issued. And XLM has 400
XRP
billion.
is only 100 billion.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Yep.
Was it? All right.
Yep.
So I'm looking at the wrong numbers then. But anyway, you've got it. And XLM has half. And so the fact that XLM only has half means that it could have a value higher
Potentially
than
twice as much.
XRP. But then I said to Andrew, so then the next side of the coin, so to speak, is, well, do you think silver will come in at a higher value than gold? It doesn't have the possibility to do that. Silver certainly has a much bigger use case scenario. It's not as abundant as gold, and to I guess what I'm going at with all of that is that in the very first Olympics that they had, silver was when you came first, silver was the medal that you received.
Yeah.
Silver, bronze, and copper. Gold wasn't even in the mix.
Well, and the fact is, I mean, both prices have been manipulated, but none more so than silver. And there was a case towards the end of last year that came out and said that there would be no more manipulation of that. And obviously there still has been. That was of the paper market. But you can see this week, gold and silver have both rallied. I think I heard gold was at its all-time high. We're up at the vault again last week, and they're going, oh well, there's been a good growth in this sector, and you can see that. So,
yeah,
very interesting.
Well, when the wheels are falling off, everybody, where's the safest place to have your money right now? If you're not up to speed with anything, but you're really concerned with what's going on, you can't trust the crypto. You can't trust the fiat system because they're so volatile and and you don't know what to choose. Then you've got to go with the physical. You've got to go with the gold and silver and those physical assets. Whether you've got enough time to do that. I guess in saying all of that though, it's like I'm so comfortable that everything's going to work itself out.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty confident of that.
Yeah.
But
you've got to do your own stuff on that.
You do. Here's a this is what do you call it? Hold on, let me look over here. Where is it? Live footage of the SEC officers showing the process of determining which projects are securities.
Oh yeah, that one.
This is a square. Can you guess which spot that goes in?
The square.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one
also the square.
That goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got this thin rectangle.
The thin rectangle.
Can you guess where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
the circle.
The square hole. Now, we've also got this semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
the semicircle?
Semicircle?
Now, we should note that the girl represents the XRP holders.
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes into,
triangle.
Right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square hole. And up next, we have the arch.
The arch.
You guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square hole. This is a square. Can you guess?
I forgot we had that one on there. Oh dear.
Yep, that's about how they decide it. Jeez, it's pretty accurate. That's
Everything in our lives has been manipulated on so many different levels.
100%.
And
we've been lied to by so many.
Yeah.
Like for so long as well. I mean, were the libraries really burnt at Alexandria?
I saw a picture the other day of I think it was somewhere in Kiev or in Ukraine somewhere, and it was the city burning, and then they had the same picture of another area like 2008 or something, or another, and all they've done is they just flipped the switch. It's like, oh, the manipulation that's in there.
I thought you were talking about the dude that he was watching the live TV broadcast. He was in Kiev watching the live broadcast, and the news is showing everything on fire, and he looked out his window, there's nothing happening.
yeah, just a normal day going on outside on the traffic.
I mean, it's quite laughable because, I mean, this is one of the reasons why Obama tried to pass the internet censorship bill back in 2008, 2009, was for exactly this. It's because they didn't want people to find out this information, and that's why people like us are being so heavily censored, is because we're putting the truth out there with a little bit of humor added to it, because if you don't laugh, you cry. But it's laughable, really. It is. It's ridiculous.
I think today, I mean, why is our show numbers just jumping up so quickly like that? We were on 10, it's jumped up to 30. So somebody just flipped the switch on us.
Maybe. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. We're just about finished. You go back and watch the start.
But have they been there the whole time? We just didn't know. They've undone the switch or something.
It's funny you say that because over the last 5 years, I've done a lot of live video on Facebook, right? A lot of live video, and most of my videos, while I'm doing them live, I get anywhere between 60 and 100 live viewers watching. Recently, the last 3 months, I've maybe had 5 to 10. Yeah. Like, well, there's definitely something going on there. I mean, I know I'm not that interesting, but I haven't lost that much, surely. But I did note that the last one I did, I literally had a maximum of 10 viewers for the entire, I think it was 18 minutes that I was on, so 10 viewers maximum. But by the time I'd finished, I'd had 100 views. So how does that happen when there's only 10 viewers watching it? So it just doesn't add up. Anyway, it is the bottom of the hour. Eh? What?
Andrew Daniels said we're sharing it, my friends. So hey,
awesome.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For sharing. I'm going to sort of end today as like, we're just getting started with this. We're just getting started.
Giddy up.
And having some fun. It's all about having fun.
Totally. If you don't laugh, you cry. But we obviously we aim to bring you entertaining and research stuff each and every week. But we do, of course, encourage you to go out and do your own research. It is the bottom of the hour. We're probably going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 in a second. But before we do that, again, if anyone wants to jump in and have one of those guided breathwork sessions with me they won't start for another 2 or 3 weeks. But if you want to jump in, there's only going to be 15 slots initially. So certainly send me an email, andrew@andrewhawks.com, and we'll put you on the list. I'll get in contact with you and sort out how that's all going to happen.
Just on that, and it's kind of interesting. Some of the health benefit stuff that we've touched on, and we haven't pushed it right down your throats every week and stuff like that. But I've noticed that a couple of other platforms have actually picking up and actually running with. And Brownie, you're watching this, Greg Brown, a great guy, but he's running with the Numi stuff, which is glutathione. I'm like, wow, good on you, for doing that. If you kind of got the inkling,
There it is.
Now, on that, Andrew, and I said to you yesterday, was it? But 1, 2, 3, 4 is the time of the next full moon. AM, of course, but it's like, there's just some special stuff, or there's some exciting stuff just in the pipeline, just looming, It's
absolutely.
Like,
100%.
Hey, but it's kind of we're going over a little bit. I just want to share with something because, I've been a real health freak not so much freaks, probably the wrong word to use. Let me just pull it up. But I've got a person that came to me and he'd been diagnosed with, he went into hospital. They were concerned about his spleen and took x-rays and stuff like that. He ended up sort of coming out and, but he had a massive tumor that had grown sort of in and around behind that area, sort of the lower gut. And he sent me this. I was really humbled because I sort of put him on a protocol, and he sent me this the other day. He said, "Hello, matey, hope all is well. Good news with my scan. It came back clear, no polyps, everything." So it's a 17 millimeter polyp. Now, when you think about that in the middle of your system, so it's probably 2 to 3 months ago that he came to me and talked to me about this. And he didn't want to, he wanted to go and travel, and he didn't want to have to go under the knife to have it removed. And certainly within the current, same fear of the hospital that I kind of have at the moment. So not sure which treatment did the trick, because I've been taking, I don't know what this one is, Neo Winner, for over a month too, but it could be a combination of all three. So the change in diet and the chlorine dioxide and the Neo Winner. But the main thing is that I'm clear, right?
That's awesome.
I'm clear. His body, through changing his diet, having some natural products, has enabled his body to heal itself. And I'm just so humbled. It's like, I did all that for nothing, for free, because I just want to help people be in a good space and to be able to live life on their own terms. So just wanted to share that with you. I hope he doesn't mind. I didn't use his name or anything, but it's like, there's some good stuff out there that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And we can get through that. I actually saw that same product actually helping with some of these people that have been stuff with that, recovering from that. So lots of good stuff out there. There's so much good stuff happening. It is an awesome, I am honored and humbled to be able to be here with you guys, sharing and having some fun really at the end of the day, catching up on the week's events.
Absolutely.
Or the previous week's events.
And I would say that if there's still internet next week, that next week's show could be quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Well, I hope it will be anyway. I mean, I'm expecting there to be some action. And for those saying, well, there's nothing going on, there's plenty going on. So we just, again, still need to be a little bit patient, but I'm pretty excited for what's to come, I think.
Yeah, as per normal, I mean, we can't, I'm never going to say dates. There's certainly a lot of potential and events and stuff that's happening. So it seems to be escalating to a point. Fingers crossed.
Did you just make a pyramid?
Never
mind.
That way?
What are you, Spock? Okay, guys, we'll be back same time next week, 11:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's 14:30 in New Zealand, and of course, unless daylight savings has changed, but that's not until April. So 2:30 p.m. in New Zealand, 11:30 a.m. here in Queensland. We'll be back Thursday next week. Share it with your friends. If you're not already, like and subscribe to the channel. Comment too, because apparently that helps with the algorithm. I don't know. I don't understand such things. I just get on and talk. But yeah, great to be here with you guys. Love you, Neil. We'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Ka kite anō.
See you guys. Love you all.